Hey there, folks, and welcome to episode 1 of I Have No Clue What I'm Doing in Run 8, version 3. The first video, hopefully not the last. Very much could be the last, though. Anyway, this is Run 8. If anyone's new to the game, which I very much am, I've known about it, but I've never utilized it until now. Or new to the channel anyway, welcome to the channel. First off, I mainly do Train Simulator, Train Sim World, and various other things from time to time. But I've known this existed for quite some time, and I've been on the fence about it because I knew, that the devs were kind of radio silent for, almost 5 years, and a lot of people were thinking it was, for the most part, abandoned, and they... out of the blue, on the 25th of January, yesterday, we're like, hey, guess what? Here's version 3. So it's very much not dead. It was resuscitated. I guess you could say there's a lot of great add-ons for it, which I've got one. I've got the SD45-2 pack, or one of them, I think, so far. But anyway, we're just here to kind of go over the game itself. Like I said, I'm very, very new to this, and it's got a bit of a learning curve. Thankfully, there are a lot of great YouTube videos out there for V2, which cover a lot of things, essentially just getting the trains going and switching and things like that. Hopefully this video will help of some sorts, but at any rate, if you don't have and you do want Run 8, you're going to have to buy V3, which is $50, and yes, that seems like... quite a bit of coin. Now, if you've got V1 or V2, you still have to buy V3. From what I understand, there's no discount because the core engine, the game itself, has been updated in several ways and different lights and all that stuff. But so regardless of whether you have it or you don't have it, it's $50. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But V3 includes... the UP and BNSF Mojave sub, which is about 220 miles combined. The Barstow-Yermo yards, which we're currently in Barstow here, just watching things unfold. And then the BNSF Needle sub at 168 miles. Now, what's cool about all this is all the other southwestern subdivisions that are in the game right now, you can link them, so you can literally drive end to end all the way to the Seligman sub in Arizona, which could take like half a day if you wanted it to. So that's what's cool about that, and I already kind of like that over things like Train Sim and Train Sim World because the routes seem to be very short in length. But we'll go over some more things a bit later here. V3 is, of course, compatible with 1 and 2. There's a new shadow system, and what I'm going to do here is just try and go over a few bullet points of the update. There is a freaking, 11-page PDF of the latest updates. I'm just going to go over a few here. There's a new shadow system, which I believe I have put here, and it looks very nice just looking at the shadow blasting off the side of that tanker. Right there, down to the right. New environmental lighting and weather systems, which is pretty cool. They'll just come out of nowhere. Clouds that... I think it was snowing on the Cajon sub yesterday somewhere, which was pretty neat. It is winter. Let's see, what else? There's a new smart AI train crew, which actually obeys signals and speeds. New AI dispatch called Auto instead of AIDS. It used to be called AIDS. There's a new AI humping system, which there's a hump yard down there to the left, actually, the Barstow hump. Improved track and switch system, working defect detectors, producing random defects, which you'll need to correct to keep going, obviously. Now, the included rolling stock, which you'll get if you've only got V3 like me. I'm the greenest of noobs at this. You're going to get essentially the Dash 9, which is new, the C44 9W. You're going to get the SD70 ACE, which I'd also like to point out that Dash 9 is only in a Run 8 livery at present. We'll check that out here in just a minute. So you're going to get the SD70 ACE as well, which I believe is BNSF, CSX, UP, a bunch of other liveries. ES44 DC, BNSF, Let's see, you're going to get 52-foot well cars, you're going to get tank cars, 57-foot reefers, C-14 3-bay covered hoppers, let's see, I think 50-foot high cubes, I believe. You're going to get a high rail truck, which is pretty neat, and the EOT device. So there's other things that have been updated as well, such as now the traction motor temps apparently behave appropriately and can overheat and be damaged and things of that nature. And units can derail now and are re-railed. Not like if you're familiar with Railroads Online, where you just kind of grab the locomotive and, pop it back on the tracks. It's nothing like that. It's you actually got to use a re-railer, like in the real world. There are loco failures, which the locos keep track of overall health and run hours, which is pretty cool. The option menu is now a drag down from the top. Now, these are things, of course, I've read from this PDF. I don't know these firsthand. I do from only the probably 8 hours or so. I've been, spent almost all of last night and this morning playing this. So your new menu is up here from the top before you would hit F1. We'll go over some more of that in a moment here. The alerter functioned and class lights are operable now. You can board, dismount locos cars if you're on the ground with F12 by hitting the E key in the appropriate area, or hit Q to dismount. Now, this is one of the big ones that I saw because I have been watching a ton of videos of Run 8 for years now. I just never bit the bullet until now. The audio system has been overhauled and now uses FMOD or FMOD. They say that the V2 stereo support still works. V3 now uses 5.1 surround, but if there were any custom horns made for V2, they no longer work, I think. So you'd have to go back and remake those. I have no clue how to do that. So just the messenger here, essentially. It's actually got true full screen now, so you just hit F4 or Shift F4 to pop in and out of that. And it's got improved air brakes, which cars and locos will also have a bit of a random health for that as well, so it'll track that overall. Like this train here sitting in front of us could have decent pads and brakes, messed up air hoses, every other car, so which is pretty neat. So again, there are multiple train simulators out there, don't get me wrong, and there are a lot of them that are pretty and just kind of flat. This, I feel like, is the other end of the spectrum. I've been playing a bit of another game recently. I think it's called Motortown Behind the Wheel, where it's not the best looking game. It looks very low poly or low bit, but it's fun as hell. And now I feel like I kind of see the light in this department with this game, where it may not look the best, although it does not look terrible. It almost reminds me of early days train sim like MSTS or something like that. But it's on a much, much larger scale. And the physics are supposed to be some of the best as far as any of the train simulators out there. And there's quite a few now, and there's more coming, including SimRail and, SimRail. Railroads Online came out late in the year, so that's pretty cool as well. But I've always sat on the fence about this. I finally jumped, and I'm here. I've got a lot to learn. You're probably not going to learn a whole lot from this video, if anything at all, so my apologies about that. I'm going to try my hardest because it has got a bit of a learning curve here. So one of the first things I'm doing here is using the free cam and panning. So when you start out, it's going to be a bit difficult. I just kind of wanted to show one of the things you can load in here. So this is a busy Barstow Yard scenario, if you will, and there aren't really scenarios. So if you're familiar with Train Sim World or Train Simulator, as far as I understand, there are not really scenarios. It's just a world and an environment world, and you can basically pick a train off a roster. There's online and multiplayer functionality, which is pretty cool in itself. So you can have a dispatch or yard master, several people, operating trains, or doing switch jobs and stuff like that, and chat over the radio. it's pretty interesting. And again, this is nothing new. This has been going on for what, almost a decade. I mean, V2 was what, like 5 years. But anyway, it's new to me, and just in case it's new to anyone else, I'm just gonna try and go over a few bit of things here. So I don't have, like I said, any additional DLC. This, all what you see here, comes with it by default, and some of it looks pretty decent. Look at some of these covered hoppers here. Just take a run at the rolling stock. Now, it's not the best looking stuff in the world. I will say this kind of reminds me of some of the low poly yard filler in later train sim stuff. But it doesn't look terrible. What I do like in this game so far is the lighting. The lighting looks good. It looks great by default. I feel like that's something that Train Sim World 2 does not have at all. The lighting in Train Sim World 2 looks like dog crap, to put it lightly. Whereas Train Simulator, it looks okay. By default, it does not look that great. But even with, the Armstrong Powerhouse weather and Sky Pack, it looks a bit better. As with Railworks, is it Railworks Enhancer? I forget the name of it. RWE or RWE Pro, it can look better as well. But I feel like the lighting in this looks amazing. Distant scenery and the mountains there in the background. But you're going to have a lot of different cars. So we got some covered hoppers, some Procore tankers. Old BN hopper there. They are, they are skinned. They are liveried. Some old BNSF right there. Some wagon wheelage. This old Santa Fe tanker. Got some box cars up yonder here. So you're going to get a lot right off the bat. And for anyone that's interested in modding, I don't think that there's too much in lieu of modding what you can do with this game. It's, I don't want to say locked down, but I do know that people make skins and sounds. But as far as like freeware, I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. If it does, please correct me in the comments below the video. Or if you have any tips, any pointers, want to help me or any other noobs out, please have at it. Fire away. Couple of boxcars here. This is Run 8 Western. This is like Run 8's old. This is very old from what I gather. They're like original rolling stock. If you don't have, say, a particular add-on. So what would happen if you loaded into a multiplayer scenario? What's cool is if you're missing add-on or DLC, it doesn't screw you over, essentially. What it'll do is add one of those Run 8 Western liveries to, I can't think of the name of what it's called. It's like a filler, essentially. So you'll still be able to run multiplayer with other people if you don't have necessary add-ons. Some of the engines here, some of the ES 44s. So there's two of these I think you'll get right off the bat. One of them's weathered, one of them's a little more clean. Again, the models are not, they're not the best thing in the world. The textures, anyway, the models, they're okay. Like, this doesn't look any worse than, and this is one of the things I always wondered about before I got this game. This, to me, does not look any worse than some of the older stuff for, just say, Train Simulator or Railworks. Not by a country mile. It looks about on par with it. So these are the cleaner ones here. I think that's one of the old boys there. Let's see what else we can find here. As far as like the assets around trackside and the yards and stuff, they're pretty great. I mean, the switches look cool. They look nice. They're functional. I don't want to pop that because I could break this thing that's going on here. Because stuff's just going on around us right now. You got these two trucks here, BNSF trucks. Got your fuel station and the tanks. Well, you got your well cars. Your double stacks for your Z trains here, so this is nice as well. And they too are, liveried. It's legit branding, and there's some very nice mods for these as well. If you're going to use some of the East Coast stuff that Yuri, a modder for Train Sim World, and Train Simulator and a bunch of other stuff. Just a modder in general has made for some of the East Coast stuff, which looks very nice. I have no clue how to install them. I probably won't ever, but it's an option, which I can link you to if you don't know about them or you're curious about them. Another fuel pit down here. That train stopped at it. The signals look pretty nice. The infrastructure. I mean, again, it's it's not very thick model, but one of the things I will say about this all is, say you tried something like this with all this AI and all these trains in Train Sim World or Train Simulator, your computer would most likely catch fire, unless you've got like a NASA or Department of Defense computer, something very powerful and crazy. Because this thing I'm in right here is loaded out. Not to mention this bit of trackage I'm on is, over 100 miles, and there's stuff everywhere. So it's running very, very smooth. I've got the graphics maxed out. As far as I can tell, I don't know if there's any mods or any ways to enhance the graphics. Right now, I'm not sure if there is. Again, if there is, please let me know in the comments below. But they did update some lighting and shadows and aliasing and things like that for the new version itself. Got the employee parking lot here, which we'll go over here in a second. Here's the Mojave Yard. Got the cranes. So it's cool. It's busy. But one of the things, like if you're used to Train Simulator, you're not going to be able to just download a scenario and just go. It's not like that. It's more akin and tuned to realistic train operations on a 24-hour scale. So it's a little bit different than other train simulators. Whereas, the way I feel with like Train Sim World, for me, it's like a look thing. Train Simulator is kind of like a look and play. This, to me, is just, a play or simulate, if you will. But anyway, the new menu is up here, so you just bring your mouse up to the top right here, or top left. Jesus, sorry. I know my directions. Over here, you've got the exact time and date, which you can click System Time, and that'll, pop it onto the System Time for the game. Or you can just click on one of these here and just click up or down and change the hour. And something else I might add is the night lighting and early dawn or dusk lighting, and this looks phenomenal. It looks really nice. I mean, just this scene right here looks gorgeous. So you basically just click through to, whatever hour or whatever type of lighting you would like to have. Just keep going. There's sunset. But it looks great. It looks really great. I love the lighting in this game. Same deal with the month. If you don't want it to be January or the specific time, just up and down with your arrows. There's December, November, October, September, August, and just you keep going. April, March, February. Wow, snow in the desert in February. Crazy. So that's how you would do that. Your license menu. So what this is, I probably shouldn't show that. What this is you're going to download the game. You're going to get a license key, and then you're going to put in your code, and that will turn that little light green. It's kind of like a DRM of sorts, and that way, you're legit, you're legal, you can play. And if you don't, put in the key like I did yesterday because I didn't know to do it, you're gonna hear a bunch of pirates just going crazy, and it's highly, highly annoying. So that's one way that they work that out. Got your consist menu here. We'll go over more of that in just a moment. Track bulletins. Don't really know too much about that. Switch lists. So if you're, in a yard, you got a switch job. Whatever. It's for that. Let's see. C6 multiplier. So this is physics while in the locomotive. Turn this up and down. I turned it to near max. Display messages. This stuff in the top left that you're seeing up here. It's usually in red, but I find that a bit hard to see, so I turned it to green. Let's see, you got your audio, so cab radio chatter, flame squeal. Not sure what that is. And then your volumes. You got your graphics here. So I've got everything on except depth of field, which makes everything kind of blurry. In the immediate surroundings, so like if you're in the cab, it makes the cab blurry, so I'm not too fond of that. I think I've got everything else on that you could possibly do here. May be able to tweak some of the settings in AMD software. There's multi-monitor support. Now these are like the train realism or physics options. So you've got allow slippery rail, brake valve failures, cold WX air brake effects, realistic alerter, realistic train handling, independent braking, distributed power. If you want this, the use V2 braking values, that's for the previous game. So like I said, the brakes have been updated for V3. So if you don't want to use that, you would just click that there. Stringline derailments, switch derailments, tip over derailments. I'm sure I'll be getting around to that here shortly. You got your slow speed fix there for loading, unloading, things like that. Headlight intensity, you know, for the locomotive headlights. So you can choose whether or not you want them to look like, you know, the power of the sun, essentially, or very dim. Oh, there's this as well, the crew avatars. So this is you and your crew, engineer, conductor. Put your name. It's got different looks here. Is he like a cop? Is he the bull? So yeah, there's a few just to play around with. They're not the best, you know, little AI characters, but you can just mess with them if you want. Get rid of that. Let's see what else. Weather. So this here, render precipitation. So that's just, you know, rain, snow, obviously. Now this here is another enhancement I think they did for V3, which is render raindrops on glass. So these are different settings. I've got it on max. We'll try and check that out a bit later as well. Render clouds. So if you click that off, clouds are gone. Click it on, there they are. Clouds full density, same thing. I'm sure they get thicker or thinner. Weather mode, auto. So that just changes. I mean, it's cool. It could be a thunderstorm, a sunny day, whatever. It gets just all kinds of options. This, I believe, you can change the keys. The keys to this are a bit funky. You are going to need to read the readmes and PDFs. I studied the heck out of those things last night, and I still don't know them. But the good thing about it is you can change them to whatever you want. For example, the bell is period or delete on the numpad, whereas the horn is the space bar. So, you know, why not put the bell for B, the letter B? Anyway, there's that option, which is pretty nice. Now, it says it uses or can use Raildriver. I recently got a Raildriver last year, fun little thing, and I need to set it up and try it out. So I cannot attest to that yet. I would very much like to try that out, though. Dispatch. So what you're going to do with dispatch is you hit F3, essentially the menu or the map. And there it is. That's where we are. UP BNSF Mojave Sub. It's up here. Down here is BNSF Sanborn to Barstow. And then here's the Palmdale cutoff down here. We are up in Barstow, I believe, right now. So there's just random operations going on around here. What you can do, if you don't want to go in and click every signal and have to path your train, you know, if you want to cheat, essentially. I know I've heard some people getting hot about this. Hit F1. That's this new thing that they added. It's auto now instead of aids. And it's auto DS. So right now, this is already kind of like a preset deal. So I haven't touched this. But if you spawn in a train or a couple of trains and you want to path, this will take care of that. You would just click on auto DS right here. You're good to go. So that's F3 for this map, and then F1 for this little box up here. So yeah, that is Barstow. We'll try to figure out how to pop in a train here, and man, that looks good. That lighting in the distant mountain terrain, that looks amazing, and it's already loaded in. Like, that has got to be very, very far. it looks nice, you know. And as much as I complain about train simulator stuff and textures and terrain and assets and things like that, I feel like this gets a pass because it's, you know, if anyone's familiar with Zeusy, this is essentially the American Zeusy. And I feel like I'd never have any real chance with Zeusy. So here we are in Run 8. So we'll go back to the menu. This is your main menu and what it's going to look like. So first of all, to make sure you have V3, it'll say the 3 up here and right there as well, January 19th, 2022. So this is all I have currently. If you just buy V3 like me, you're a complete, you know, wet behind the ear, green noob. This is all you will get. So it's UPB and SF Southwest US. You're going to get Barstow Yermo, Cajon sub, Mojave sub, and Needles sub. So let's see. We'll click Cajon. No. We'll do Mojave. The Mojave. So this is what we did just a minute ago. The default route session. Sorry, I had to sip on some coffee. I think that or that is what was going on there, that yard. Now, train, these are trains already set up here. So you can click on one of these. They already have their numbers. There's Amtrak as well. Now, you are going to get the P42, but it's not got a proper skin on it. I think it says Run 8, and it pulls box cars. So, you know, if you want to mess with that, go for it. This is the extra board. So this is essentially, think of it like free roam or quick drive if you're familiar with Train Simulator. So let's see. Here we're just in Barstow. Let's do, we'll do Mojave Yard. Here we go. And we'll launch that. Get that lovely music. Alright, so we are in Mojave Yard. There's your windmills or turbines. So you start on the ground, like you're on foot. So you move around with WASD. What's up, dudes? Those crapping in. That guy's nose. Triangle. But this ain't about AI dudes, right? It's about trains. So you start out like this, right? So just walking around. Couple of Joshua trees, and we're in Mojave. There's the mountain range yonder. So that way is essentially west. This way would be east, if I'm not mistaken, and that would continue on through Arizona. So anyway, we're in Mojave. We're looking north actually right now. That's due west there. But so what we'll do, let's see, make sure we're on some correct trackage here. We'll just plop one of these suckers down on the main line here. That's what we'll do. So you're going to hit Control F1, and that's going to bring up your Train Maker Upper. I love the name of some of this stuff. So you choose what you want right here. So for example, this is Amtrak. I'll show you just for the hell of it if you're not familiar. Just to show you what it looks like. Oh, I chose the dang auto rack. Dang it. Pardon me. Freight locos. No, Amtrak. Where's it at? What? I swear hold on a minute. Hold on a dang tootin' minute. Okay, no, 2 seconds. Let's check something out here, because this is what I did the other day. Where's it at? Here we go. I clicked one of these. This is what I saw. So we'll launch that. Now it is dark. So we'll fix that right up. We're on the ground. Where's our Amtrash? Oh no, I'm missing tracks. Oh dearie me. I don't think I've got something installed. I thought I installed everything correctly. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. You have to forgive that. We'll try that again. Hold on. This is going very, very well, as per usual here on the channel. Yeah, I loaded this up last time, and the little P42s loaded up. For whatever reason, they're not loading up. I think I might have to reinstall the game, because what it does is update some of the older stuff. So that's weird. That's very weird. Okay, forget we even looked at that. Pay no mind. I would edit that out, but video editing is not my passion. So anyway, okay, back to it. Extra board, we're going to go to Mojave Yard. Click launch. Alright, we're back down here with these dudes. Gonna go over here. So you walk around with WASD, look around by right-clicking and mouse. You can hold shift to walk faster, and you can hold control shift to zoom walk very, very quickly. So, alright, here's the main line headed westbound. So what we're gonna do is hit control F1 and make our train. So I bought the only add-on I have is these SD45-2s, which we will use. So we'll get one of the ATSF-01s. Oh, I need to get rid of that. Clear that out of there. There we go. ATSF-01, that's the bog standard ATSF, so we'll add that. This one here is a special livery. So we'll just leave those two as our engines. Now we're going to go to freight cars. So you can click freight cars, and in blue is what I have. Okay. So that's what I can add. That's what will essentially not, because see, I believe you can add it, but it's just going to have like a Run 8 livery or logo on it. So it's not going to look realistic, you know, and we love realism, right? That's why we like simulators. As well as clicking all freight cars, you can click down here as well. So auto racks, box cars, center beams, gondolas, piggybacks, tanks, all that good stuff. So we'll just do we'll run do some hoppers. So I'm going to click. Let's see. We're going to do them all. We're just going to grab every darn thing we can here. So let's see. There's the box cars. So I'm going to click that, left click on that. Now if I hit shift, the shift key, and then come down and then left click, boom, it grabs all of them, and you can toss them over there, which is very helpful. We'll grab some tankers. So bam, acid. Sounds lovely. Shift click, there we go. We're going to add those as well. Now we're currently at 6.1 horsepower per ton. That is going to really play a hand in how powerful your consist is going to be and how quick you're going to be able to go, and just how much pulling power you have or stopping power in general. Now what you can see over here to the right says empty and loaded stats. So one of the cool things about that is you can change it, and the suspension on the car lifts up and down as well, which is pretty cool. So we'll add the box cars. Where'd they go? Here they go. Bam. Add. Okay. So we've got our consist. This is the head end right here, our engines. So we got 2 locos, 50 cars, 52 total, 2,900 feet. Empty, 1,772 tons, 4 horsepower per ton. Loaded stats is 71 horsepower per ton. So that can be a little sketchy, but you know, we're gonna physics. This is what this game's big on. We're gonna try the physics out, right? So one of the cool things you can do is just hit random reorder, and it'll swap them all up, just like the, you know, something you'd see out on the high iron, the real deal, just the, you know, junk train all mixed up. Gonna hit random reorder. There we go. And we're gonna click place train up here. Pop it right here. Left click on the rail. And there we go. She's good to go. I'm gonna hit escape and that'll get out of that. I'm going to get in the free roam, or the free cam here, which is Shift F12. That gets you in the free cam. And same deal, WASD. So these are the SD45-2s, and they look all right. You know, they're cool engines to begin with. Looks very, very nice. Now here's our consist. What's interesting about this consist is it is now empty. So you'll see some of the box stars. Box stars? Good God, what have I just said? You'll see some of the box cars' doors open when it is empty. So I'm going to click on the train. To click on the train, if you click on it anywhere but center mass, it doesn't do what you want it to do most of the time. So I'm just going to click center mass on it. There we go. It'll turn red. It'll say controlling unit ATSF 5694. Now over here, it'll say train weight, full, empty, random. So this is empty right now. So I'm going to hit full. Now watch the actual suspension and rail car there. Boom. Sucker loads down. It's all bouncy. The door closes. She's got some weight on her. You'll also notice no angle cocks turned and the hoses are not applied. So, being that I am a noob, I am going to cheat. And luckily you can do that, which makes this game less daunting instead of a true blue cold start, which I don't know if you can do with some of these engines. Some of the other engines you can do more in-depth and involved things. But as far as this, so what I'm going to do, this is our lead engine here. I'm just going to hit auto start all locos. Alright, they are in running order. Now this is your multiple unit or distributed power. So I'm going to bop that on because we got a trailer here. Say multiple unit connection, okay. Auto CB, so that's all the circuit breakers inside the cab. You'll notice the light popped on there. End of train device, going to click that. And AB is your air brake system recharge. Otherwise, just like as in real life, that takes a good while. You're going to be sitting there for a minute. So that quickly just jumps to that and gets you going. This here can change the headlights. Your ISO switch, which you're going to need and run to get going. You can change how much fuel you want here. This is your feed valve PSI. So most freight trains in the States, it's 90 PSI. I think Amtrak uses like 110 or some kind of business like that. This here is your handbrake. You can select that or not. We're going to go ahead and select it. See the train kind of jumping around there. Alright, so let's get in this son of a gun. I believe it's Shift F11. Nope. Control F11. Yep. There we go. And we're inside. And it doesn't look too bad. It, you know, again, it kind of reminds me of early train sim stuff, but it's on a larger scale. I feel like everything just seems larger in this than a train simulator, for example, I think, because that's scale form or whatever it's called. But it doesn't look bad, you know. It does not look bad. I like the weathering on the glass here with the wipers and all that good stuff. Like, it looks okay. You can open the window, just left click that, hold it down. Don't think you can move the visor. If you can, there's a lot of different keys here. So okay, here's our switches. We are in run. Ginfield is on. Let's see, that's our heater there. Let's turn our headlights on. Headlight rear, headlight front. So you're just going to click that. They are now on bright. Let's see, doobie. Let's check this here. That's set to run. Good deal. Now what you can do to look outside exteriors, hit the 4 key, and that'll pop you around, and hit shift to make it go a little quicker. Just to double check you got all your lights on, all that good stuff. They indeed are on. Control 11 again to get back in. So I'm going to see if I can remember the keys here. So your reverser is delete key and insert key. So insert is forward, delete is backwards. There we go. There goes that high idle. Not saving fuel anymore. The throttle is plus and minus. Now let's go ahead and air up here. Although we're already aired up, but I don't have any air applied, so I believe that is home and end key. I actually see it moving there. And it's tiny increments, you know. It's not just like, oh, throwing an anchor over like in some simulators. Alright, so we'll leave that there. Now the loco brake, or the independent, we're just going to scooch that bad boy all the way up. Okay, now let's see. I don't think our radio's hooked up here, so let's see. F3... Mojave, what are we on? Let's say we're BNSF. It's the radio, 65? I believe it's 65. Here's us right here. Let's try that. There we go, radio, channel 65, so it's set there. Alright, so let's go ahead and come off the train brake. See the CFM gauge there. Doing its thing. Let it come down. Take another sip of coffee while it's happening. Now the parking brake is going to be set by default. That is F5 to clear that. There you go. There's our EOT, or Train Link 2 beeping, telling us that we're moving. You know, it was a tiny move, but oh dear God, we're rolling backwards. Oh my God. Okay, let's go ahead and stretch her out here, shall we? I need more loco brake. Alright, it was just dragging us backwards. We got our wheel slip light going there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and apply a couple of notches here. We'll give her one. Start coming off the Indy. Give her two. Because you can rip these knucklers to pieces. It's like it's bouncing a little bit. Oh, we're rolling backwards. Like I said, this is a heavy train. 1 horsepower per ton. She's still rolling backwards. Alright, come off it some more. Yeah, I didn't put enough engines on. It's because I'm a noob. We'll give it another one. I think we're screwed, guys. Alright, notch 4. Let's see if we don't rip this train apart. 5, 6, 7. Wheel slip. Wheel slip. This is a nightmare. Are we slowing down a little? I think we are. I think we are. There we go. She's creeping. Now, the sounds aren't the greatest, especially coming off things like, you know, I gotta say it, the Searchlight Simulations, BNSF, SD40-2 pack. But they sound okay. You know, they're passable. They could be louder. There are mods that people have done. I know a lot of them are private, I guess. I'm not sure how many are shared, but there are sound mods, just like with Train Sim. But again, I have no clue how to install them. Hopefully time will change that. So we are rolling now. Jesus, needed 7 notches, man. Back inside here. She is in the red. Big time. Yeah, we definitely could have added a DPU on the back. Give us a little shove. We'll put it in 8, see what happens. Still getting a bit of wheel slip. Oh, you can hear it too. Alright, so we got the sand on. See, we are going almost 2 miles per hour. So yeah, I just didn't put enough power on here. That's why you got to make sure you pay attention to that HP/T, horsepower per ton. So it's 1. Empty, it would have been 4.1. Check the horn out. It doesn't sound bad. I mean, it really doesn't. It sounds alright. Man, this thing's struggling. Poor little 45-2 skis. The bell. Now the bell on these and a lot of the older locos weren't auto, so hit the period or delete key for that. Now, I may just have my system volume down a bit, but these things should be screaming, especially in notch 8. Open the door as well, let a little bit more sound in. Look at this cat. I got the yard bowl in my engine. Get out. So you can click on certain things here. You know, I gotta say, this is just a very in-depth simulator. I almost caught myself saying game. There is a lot you can do, a lot you can set up. You know, there's several loco and rolling stock packs. There's at least I want to say at least 8 routes, maybe 3 of which come by default in this, but I think I'll just kind of leave it there. Yeah, I'm a noob. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've got a lot more learning to do. Hopefully, if you're new or on the fence like I was, this helped a little bit, kind of, you know, get you in the right headspace, whether or not you want to check this out. Yeah, but again, there are a absolute ton of updates. I did not go over all of them. This would have been like a 4-hour video. Nobody likes that. So I will link that below where you can catch all the details and all that good stuff, and where you can pick the game up, you know, if you want to check it out yourself. But I think that'll do it for Old Shiny Bonbon's first Run 8 V3 video. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. See you guys.